Hi guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Apex. Now, we do apologise, it's been a bit of a mad one to try and get you this episode out, to be honest, but we are talking all things Monaco today.
Absolutely.
Which, it was quite something watching it, wasn't it? You know,
yeah.
Considering we'd only been there 3 weeks. Was it 3 weeks?
Yeah, it was 3 weeks ago,
Yeah,
and then watching it on live was insane.
Yeah, it was something else, I can't lie. But yeah, so let's talk about Monaco. So let's start off with qualifying then, I think. I mean, you say what you thought, because you told me about it.
Yeah, it was the best qualifying I think I've ever seen. Obviously I've been watching F1 for 4 years I think now, and that was easily the best qualifying. There was probably 14 chance of getting pole. Obviously Alonso stuck in that provisional pole at right at the end, and then obviously Max stormed in the final sector. But it was unreal.
It makes it a spectacle. That's the spectacle that we all love. It was definitely an amazing quali. But yeah, it did it again. Like you said, it showed Max's.
Yeah. I mean, Max realised. Obviously, this season Max has somewhat taken it chill in quali. He's realised that the race pace of the Red Bull is so strong that he can get past any cars in the race.
Yeah.
But obviously Monaco, that's not the case. It's very difficult to overtake, and you need to be on pole. And he obviously realised that, and the kind of animal of 2018 Max and 2019 Max came out, and he just absolutely went for it. And it showed. He got pole, and it was one hell of a lap.
Exactly, and yeah, he's definitely on to win the championship.
Oh yeah, I don't think that's in doubt at all now. Yeah.
It's just but we've always said that though, haven't we?
Yeah.
You know, 'cause with the car and with the driver, I think it's
he's unstoppable.
Yeah, exactly. So going on from that, Red Bull. Let's go to the race. We've seen it everywhere. It's just they've got pace everywhere.
Yeah.
They've not got one bad track. They're
not
just
at all.
they're good at every circuit, and that definitely showed in Monaco.
Yeah,
I think
definitely, and I think you can see that car just has no real flaws. It works really well in the slow speed corners, which not many teams are good at. And even on the small straights there are in Monaco, it did well. So yeah, even on a circuit where all the cars are kind of put together, they're within a tenth or two. The Red Bull still is that top car.
Yeah, it still is. It's not, there's no one in title contention either, really. Like in terms of how good they actually are. But yeah, so but I don't. Let's go on to Perez.
It was a shocking race.
Yeah. It just shows you the reality of number 2 and number 1 drive, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, I mean, he threw it in quali. Q1 obviously crashed, and by the end of the race, he was just a test dummy for Max, I think. Obviously, they stuck him on the wets at the end. Yeah. Those were never going to work. It was just sector 1, which was really, really wet, and then the rest of the sectors were semi-alright to drive on. Yeah, it wasn't good. It really did not show him in a good light.
No, it didn't. It really didn't. So, but I think, again, overall, it was a good race for Red Bull because of Max.
Yeah, obviously.
Winning in Monaco is something
it's the prestigious race of the year. I mean, it's always going to be a success if your driver wins. So
exactly. Okay, so we'll go on to Ferrari. Obviously, talking about success in Monaco. Well, it doesn't really match.
No, it really
Charles
doesn't.
Leclerc, the Monegasque on the grid. I think every Ferrari fan was.
Every Ferrari fan just doesn't look forward to Monaco, and even though he didn't have a bad race. That curse still seems to be haunting him with that grid penalty that he took, which honestly would have probably ended up getting him a podium. So it's a shame to see it.
It's a shame, but it's happened every year now, isn't it?
Every year. He just must not look forward to the race now.
Which is such a shame, because obviously, it's like he said, I think in one of the, he said somewhere that he used to get the bus around there to school.
Oh yeah.
And now he's racing on those.
Yeah, it must be insane for him to do it. At the same time, he's got obviously we saw it in Monaco when we were watching the F1 race as well. Everyone there supports Charles. I mean, there wasn't a single person in the bar that we were watching in who wasn't supporting Charles. Every time he got past, there was a big kind of groan, and he must feel like he is letting down those fans who are being cheated of a home Monegasque win.
Yeah.
So
because everyone loves a home Grand Prix win. I mean, let's talk about Silverstone. When you get all the British drivers winning, it's I think. What did we have last year? Silverstone.
Sainz.
Was it Sainz?
Sainz won.
Did we have
No, George wasn't on, but Hamilton got the podium, and I think it was Checo as well. Checo got the podium.
I can't remember, but I know it was good because obviously Hamilton.
And everyone still loved Hamilton win. So, but everyone loves a home race win, and I feel like the atmosphere in Monaco, Charles eventually wins, which I hope he will.
It has to. He
has to eventually.
It has to.
Yeah.
But like going on from that, obviously they look like the fourth fastest car overall in the race, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and it's a shame to see because obviously they were so in title contention if they'd made the right decisions last year. But they are really looking like the fourth fastest car, and it's drives like the qualifying for Charles, which is bringing it into those positions where they could possibly fight for a podium. But it really is looking like, especially in race, Aston and Merck are both ahead of them.
Yeah, definitely. Like even if they qualified ahead of them, I just, the pace that we've got, like you said, with Aston Martin and Merck, I just don't think it's in contention.
No,
so.
not at all.
But
moving on to Merck, I mean, they showed decent pace, and obviously they brought the new upgrades this weekend.
Yeah, we saw that.
Obviously very drastic. They've kind of taken that Red Bull side bob. Obviously, it's the floor that's the main difference. But look, it showed like they had good pace. But Monaco is such an exception. You can't really kind of look into it that much.
No, you can't. Obviously, street race, tight corners, and overtaking. Really. It is one of those things, but they did, like you said, show a lot of pace, and I think George did have the potential to get on the podium.
100%. And look, if he hadn't have made that mistake, he would have been on the podium. He I wouldn't have said he deserved it. It was definitely strategy that helped him get into that position. But at the same time, he could have got a podium, and that would have been the second podium of the year for Mercedes, a big thing for them. And they are showing good signs, but I think we've got to kind of let time tell that.
Yeah, for the upgrades as well. Obviously, we've got to see them at a circuit, for example, as in like in a natural race circuit rather than the street track, and see how that then progresses, whether actually we'll see any benefits or not, because we just don't know. We've only seen it in one race, so.
Exactly, and obviously if they would have come in last weekend for Imola, obviously that race was cancelled because of the flooding, so we would have got good signs at Imola for what the upgrades would have been like, but it's weird for so many teams to bring upgrades to Imola, to Monaco, but we'll have to just wait and see what they're like.
Definitely. Okay, we'll move on to Alpine then. Wow. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, they had the weekend of their lives, I think it's fair to say.
Definitely.
Obviously, Ocon, brilliant drive to get on the podium. His qualifying, honestly, at one point I really did think he was going to be on pole for the Monaco Grand Prix, and he kind of went 2 tenths ahead, and it was just stunning.
When he was like, Esty Bestie's on the podium, I was like, oh yeah. It's so good to see.
Yeah, it is. And look, Ocon is an underrated driver. Of course, he was a Mercedes Junior for so long, and he has been on the podium a couple of times. Obviously, had that win in 2021. It was a great race for him.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, I think with the right strategy, Gasly could have been on the podium as well.
Exactly.
So it really did show a great race for Alpine.
But they had pace, obviously going into Monaco's difficult circuit, like you just said, but it was really good to see that they're up there, because we haven't said that about them in the last few podcasts.
We really haven't.
It's always been, that was meh. So it was really good to see.
And look, in Miami, Laurent Rossi really did kick them up the arse. And was that the best way to deal with the team? I don't think so. But clearly they've kind of just trounced him now with the race they had. And it's looking up for Alpine, which as a McLaren fan hurts, but it is good to see, because obviously they are kind of closing that gap to the top 4 now. Definitely. And they're showing good pace.
100%. Okay, so then we'll move on to McLaren and we'll going from that. Okay, so on to McLaren.
It was an alright race. I mean, I'll definitely take the result. At the start of quali, I really thought Lando could have got in the top 5. He then obviously had that crash in Q2. Brilliant job by the mechanics, by the way, to get that car done.
That was so good.
I mean, they replaced the whole suspension in 10 minutes.
It's impressive stuff, really.
Even though he kind of took Oscar's place in Q3, which from a strategy point of call, would that have been the best? Would Oscar have been able to get further up with a mended car?
It's one of those things, isn't it? But I think they did what they had to do in that situation. Obviously, they've got to put Lando first, as technically the first number 1 driver, But it was really good to see. Obviously, double points on the weekend, and
I think that's all we could have asked for.
Literally,
we McLaren. Yeah, look, it was a good race. Obviously, seeing our competitor for P5 Alpine up there would have hurt. But at the same time, are we really battling them now, especially with the car they have, or are we battling for the teams like Haas, like AlphaTauri? So, yeah, look, it was a good race. We'll take it, and we did show okay pace.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely. Okay, so moving on to Alfa Romeo now. Bottas again. Yeah, there's potential, but like obviously, I don't know.
It's not there. He's showing potential at very, very kind of differing points, and Joe in general is just doing better than him at the moment.
Yeah.
Which honestly, at the start of the season, I would not have said that.
No. You wouldn't as well, especially with Bottas' experience, you know. And obviously, I don't know. It's just a meh race for them.
Yeah.
It always has been. It's consistently meh.
Yeah, it's consistently just not being where they should be. They're always underperforming.
Yeah.
Tracks where they say they're going to be good, they're just not.
No.
And it's a shame because obviously Sauber's taking over next year. We want to see that team going up and rise again, and they're really not showing that kind of potential that they should have.
Yeah.
And obviously going on to we're on Alfa Romeo at the moment.
Yeah.
This is my chance to go on to Teo Porsche.
Yeah. There we go. Then. Here we
this
go.
is my section.
we honestly need a little like screen thing. Sounds Teo chat.
But obviously, Bottas underperforming is showing that could Teo get that seat for 2024. I'm desperate for Teo to get a drive in Formula One. And look, he had a strong weekend. He should have came to this race with sights of winning it. This was his race. Obviously, he won it 2 years ago. Became the youngest Formula 2 winner. Obviously, he didn't win the race, but it was good points. And obviously, that's all we can really ask for. Obviously, Vesti's went ahead of him now, which is unfortunate, but it's a long season ahead, and it was a solid performance, which is all I can ask for as a Teo fan.
That's good. It's good to see. I think I watched a little bit of that. I can't remember.
I think you watched the sprint, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes, it was a good race. Yeah. Okay, so we'll move on to Aston Martin from that. It's fantastic pace. I mean, it's always the case with them. Honestly, we've seen it through.
It's just I don't know how that team is doing so well.
Well, it's because I was saying Lance Stroll.
No, he's actually dragging them down.
But it's because Stroll's putting so much money into it. There's just so much development going into it. I mean, as a Formula E fan as well, in terms that they're just recruiting the best people. Like they've recruited Adrian Atkinson from Jaguar Formula E team to be one of their head of communications, which is just recently. He did recently switched over to Aston Martin, so they are employing the best people to then obviously, and it's showing, it's showing through their pace as well.
100%, and look, it's showing that car does work on all circuits. Kind of like the Red Bull, obviously not to the extent of Red Bull,
but they haven't had enough time with that.
They haven't. And unfortunately, hindsight's a great thing, but I think with the right strategy, Alonso could have won that race.
Oh, 100%. 100%, and I think that should have been amazing to see.
It would have been unbelievable. But look, I can see after kind of studying it and looking at kind of the options they had, I can understand why they put Alonso on new mediums, because new mediums are always going to be grippier in the wet to old, because they were running so long on those tyres.
100%.
And they really could have potentially had an undercut on Max if it is then just dried. And look, the strategy does make sense. Obviously, in hindsight, the rain just slammed down. If he'd stuck on inters, he would have won the race. 100%. I think that's plain simple. But
it's just one of those things. But it's just a great performance from them, But not Stroll, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, Stroll was just kind of bumper carring his way through the race.
I don't think it helps as well that we've got Alonso in the other car, because he's so much experienced and he's just so good everywhere that it's just like Stroll's a good driver. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But I just think up against someone like Alonso, it's always going to look bad.
Absolutely. I think you stick anyone up against Alonso and they're going to struggle to kind of outperform him. Obviously, last year Ocon did outscore him on points. Alonso would have absolutely battered him if it wasn't for the technical reliability.
100%.
So, look, it was
It's just one of those things.
It's one of those things.
But a great race for Aston Martin.
Absolutely.
Okay, right. So moving on to Haas now.
Yeah.
I mean, quali
was horrific. It was.
Not one to remember.
No, it wasn't. They went on an alternate strategy in qualifying. They went out when no one was out there and just hoped that the clean air, because obviously there was so much traffic in Q1, if you got hit with traffic your lap was screwed. So they went out in clean air and it was a shame to see that their lap just wasn't good enough. They both obviously went out in Q1, sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, look, they did make some overtakes in the race.
Yeah.
Obviously, Hulkenberg sent it on Sargent on the first lap.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
just not. It's not again like performing where they probably need to be in terms of the world championship. But yeah, I mean, like we just said about quali, not performing well in quali at a track like Monaco is just going to make the race impossible.
It really is. Yeah, and they've got to make some kind of outlandish strategy calls, like leaving Kevin out for so long on those hards. Yeah. I don't know, it kind of seemed like the rain came and then 10 minutes later Kevin was still on the hards, kind of just skirting his way through, like 2 laps down. And they were hoping for a safety car, but it was never going to come, and it was a shame.
No, it's like bumper cars, isn't it? It's just
that is just Monaco in the way. It's just bumper cars central.
It literally is. Okay, so AlphaTauri now. I don't. Honestly.
It was such a shame because Tsunoda was running in the points.
Yeah.
He then, as soon as the rain came out, his brake pedal went long. He had brake problems, and both of the McLarens went past, which was it was good for me. But it was a shame. Yeah, it was a shame to see Yuki go out the points because he really did deserve a good result there.
Yeah, it was a shame. But then obviously De Vries, I mean, we've not seen a lot from him over the past few races. We've said he's not performing to the level that he should be. So there's always going to be that will he keep his seat?
Yes.
Because we've just not seen that spark that like most people, the teams need to see to be able to keep you there. But he had a good race this weekend.
He had an alright race. He did have good pace. Obviously, he made a little mistake in quali, which meant that he went out. But yeah, he qualified well. And he kind of showed that he is kind of starting to get used to that car. Yeah. Maybe the telling off from helmet helped, but yeah, he is starting to get his groove. But it's one race. We can't
say much. Obviously, like we said again as well, Monaco is just a one. It's a one-off.
Look, he could be, but obviously, I think he might have won. No, he won in 20. He must have won the Monaco F2 race at some point.
I honestly can't remember, but he's raced at Monaco.
He's raced at Monaco lots of times, obviously in Formula E as well. Yeah. So he should be good at the circuit, and clearly he did because he had an alright race.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good to see. Okay, right. So finally, we'll move on to Williams. Not a lot of pace going on.
It really wasn't a lot of pace. And there was that crash in qualifying, I think it was qualifying or practice, where they had to bring the car up and we saw the floor of that Williams. And it is just a blank slate. I don't know what their engineers are doing.
No.
But, well,
hope you're going to watching this.
Yeah, but yeah, look, the car, if you look at, because obviously the Red Bull went up as well, we saw the floor of the Red Bull.
Yeah.
It is honestly night and day with that Williams, and it shows why they don't have pace.
Yeah, it's definitely not on the same level as the Red Bull.
Not at all.
Just a poor weekend, I think, in general from them,
It really was. That they tried strategy, keeping Logan out, holding cars back so that Alex could get ahead of them. Logan just let them through, so it really wasn't a weekend to remember for Williams.
No, it wasn't. But we won't go on that much because might be a potential guest on the podcast coming soon. But who knows? Who knows? Okay, so that's pretty much Monaco wrapped up.
Yeah.
Once again, we do apologise for not getting it out to you on time.
Busy times.
But we've got good things coming. Hopefully, in the next couple of episodes, we'll have a new setup. It won't be this kitchen, unicorn's kitchen. We're gonna have a proper setup for our podcast. We're gonna take it to hopefully the next level.
Absolutely.
In terms of content as well, we're gonna branch out and things, and we're really gonna get into the nitty-gritty part of it. So
it's gonna be good times ahead.
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.